Hello. How's it going? I think I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in, get started. All right. So what were we working on before? Last week we added sound effects to the rupees and hearts, and we made it so we could attack and block. The attacking might have been the week before, actually. So let's do some more work on both the movement and the combat. So one thing that, before I do any of that though, I think I might make some changes to the camera, because I made it more complicated than it needs to be. In another project of mine, I simplified it. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now. Let's see. So we have camera rig. We'll go into this scene. This is very complex, like, got a path follow and all this stuff. So, we don't need any of these paths, actually. So I'm just gonna move that there, get rid of these. So we have our camera, we have our origin, and then let's go in here. We'll keep the horizontal speed and the vertical speed. We'll get rid of the path follows. We don't need a look at point. Get rid of that. Let's see. So the way that we're going to structure it instead, so we have our origin. We'll have let's see, no 3D. This will be our what did I call it in the other project? Just gonna look at the other project and copy what I have there. Alright, so camera rig. We have height offset, and rotation offset, and spring arm. Rotation, set, and spring arm, and then the camera is attached to the spring arm. then in the script, we as the X rotation is done, let's see. Okay, so we're rotating the root of the camera rig. So here we're gonna say rotate Y, input vector dot X, times horizontal rotation speed times delta. And then I think we'll also say if invert x-axis input vector dot x times equals -1. And then here, we're going to say input vector dot y times equal -1. And then copy this. Vector. And then we need to add our minimum and maximum. And then what values do we have this to? -90 and 35. And then this needs to be a unique name. And just to make sure, I'm going to delete these and drag it in to make sure it doesn't break. It gets the right ID. There we go. All right. So So it should be the same. I do have the speeds set to 3 and 70. So I'll set this one to 3, this one to 70. And this is in degrees per second, and this is in, I think they're both in degrees per second actually. So we're multiplying by delta time. If I save, that, and then we do need to let's see. So height offset, that's hello. Right now I am simplifying the way that the camera works because over the weekend and yesterday I put together this little test demo thing. I was playing around with some stuff I grabbed online. And I made it's basically like the camera works the same, but it's using the spring arm instead of the complicated thing I was doing previously, and it works really well. I was also experimenting with a dynamic music system, so I can if I go in here, it gets intense, and then it'll go back to the adventurous theme. But yeah, the camera, it feels almost identical to what I had before, but it's just way simpler. So yeah, for that I made this music manager, and I'm using let's see, it is an audio stream interactive, and it lets you specify multiple audio clips, and then here, where is it? You can edit the transitions. So it has this sort of matrix of the different clips, and you can pick how it transitions from one to the next. So this one, it will transition immediately to the start of if we're going from the Heroic Age song to the Clenched Teeth song, it will immediately start at the beginning of the battle music. But if we're going back from the battle music to the heroic song, it will it'll crossfade over 16 beats to where it was playing before it went to the battle song, which is kind of cool. I wanted to learn how that stuff worked a little bit better. And I was also playing around with there's this website called I'll post it in chat if you want to check it out. Freestylized.com. They have a bunch of free textures and skyboxes and some 3D models that are free to use. So I downloaded a sky and a grass and some bricks and stuff to just play around with. and then the character is from let's see. The character and animations for this one are from this Quaternius Universal Animation Library, which is pretty cool. He's got like a whole bunch of animations. He's got like multiple tiers that you can buy. So some of them are like these are the free ones. And then there's like professional ones, and you can, yeah, I said the standard free one has like, you know, idle walk, sword attack, and idle. But then if you pay, you can get more animations. I just did the free one because I was just playing around. And then the music is from Incompetech. I don't know if you've heard of them before. They have a big list of royalty-free music. You just have to credit them if you use them in a project. But they have like, you can pick what mood or feel you want, and like what genre and speed and stuff like that. So just downloaded a couple of those, and then yeah, to make the interactive audio stream, you have to make a resource, and then audio stream interactive, and then you can add different clips. So you can call this one like action, and this one will be like battle, and then we'll have like a victory. And then if you have that assigned, then you can edit the transitions there. So if we want to go from action to battle, you know, you can like say use the transition, do it on the next bar. You can do like same position, start, previous position. Yeah. It was fun. But yeah, I'm trying to simplify my camera setup because I want to add a lock-on system, like a Z targeting lock-on sort of thing, like you have in Wind Waker. But my camera was just a little complex for that. So let's see. Do you want to add? Let's see. So we have. I'm just gonna copy these values here. So we have in my camera rig. This is at 1.108. And then rotation offset, I believe, is 0. Yeah. And then the spring arm has radius of 0.25, and a spring length of 4. And then we'll zero this out. Alright. So now, if I go back to my my outdoor world, Why is the camera just looking straight up? Yeah. Okay. Just gonna zero out the camera there. Oh, I think I need to, let's see, in our camera rig here, update, Alright, so we're not... Yeah, cool. Alright, so I don't think we're using that anywhere anymore. I need to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Alright, I am back. Alright, so why is this being funky? Because it looks... Alright, I'm just gonna like have these side by side. Alright. And then that's 0, 0. Height offset. Height offset. Rotation offset. Spring arm. Yeah, and then the only difference here is that I have a remote transform here instead of in camera. Okay, so yeah, it effectively works exactly the same as it did before. But it is vastly simplified. It might be a little bit different, but okay, so it breaks here, and I think I know why. Because again, I made it more complicated than I needed to, and then in my character, I think I'm doing like, in order to get the forward direction I'm doing this math with the camera itself, but in this newer implementation, I'm just multiplying the camera rigs forward with the input. So here, we say just transformed that basis times the input. Input dot x 0, input dot y, and then we normalize this whole thing. And then, yeah, I think so this should now, oop, wrong project. This one. say look at position plus direction. But we're only going to do that if input direction dot length is not equal to 0. Everything's backwards. Why is that? Part of the problem is we're using the camera instead of the camera rig. Actually, I'm gonna specifically call it camera rig. And then here links Alright, everything's still backwards. Why is that? I think if we rotate this 180 degrees, that will fix it. Maybe. No, still backwards. This 180. Still backwards. Like he's moving in the right direction, he's just facing the wrong way. So I guess we could just say here minus direction instead of plus direction. That seems wrong, but but yeah, now it feels pretty much the same. But it's much less complex, and it handles looking directly down a lot better. which is something that it didn't do before. And it's like a pretty minor thing, I think, but I don't know. It's nice to have. All right. I think I need to make the roll state. Let's see. What if I just say velocity.z is equal to roll speed? Weird. Still not. We'll move that into physics update. What if we say character controller dot can move false. I don't like that he stops when I hit the roll button. Why is he stopping? So yeah, I think this is overriding whatever I'm doing in the player character dot I need to clean up that transition. It looks really weird. I think part of the problem too is the roll animation. It's only staying in the roll state for half a second, and I know that it's longer than that. Let's look at our roll. So yeah, it's like 1.5 seconds. So we'll just say 1.4. I'm gonna close that other project. Alright, roll. Let's set this to 1.4. Yeah, it does weird stuff when I roll and change directions. Okay, I think part of that weirdness is because I'm setting velocity.z, which is a global vector. It's not local. So it's just moving the z value. It's just doing this. But if I'm rotated, it's still moving me forward globally, not so if I go into my roll script and I say velocity equals player character controller dot global basis times roll speed. just. Okay, so we'll do, rather than roll speed, we'll do times vector 3 dot forward times roll speed. Like a little better. Let's set this to like 25. You zoom. Oh. Yeah, zooming. Gotta go fast. It's feeling a lot. Whoa, that was weird. It's feeling a lot more like Zelda, but yeah, you can still turn and do some weird stuff while you're rolling. This isn't... You shouldn't be able to change directions while rolling. And then I also do need to put if state machine dot current state equal to self. That way it's not going to try to transition if the state isn't active, because I think that was happening when it was trying to do the jump. let's. Fixed that bug. It is funny we don't play the jump animation when we roll, but I'm kind of okay with it. For now at least. Kind of looks cool. Alright, so I do want to add in here, I'm gonna have a variable can turn. And then our roll state here, when we enter the state, we can say player character controller dot can turn is equal to false. And then our exit will say it's true. There we go. So that should fix the turning while rolling. We can still change the movement while rolling, which is not exactly what I want. Yeah, there's like some cases where I can roll without the roll animation playing, and I'm not sure why that is. I think it might just be if I'm spamming the button. Yo, how's it going? Long time no see. Hope things are going well. We got sword attacks working and shielding. Okay, it looks like the pickupables are colliding with the camera spring arm, so that's something I need to look into. I changed my camera system today to use a spring arm instead of the complicated thing I had set up before. It works almost the same as... That was weird. I like jumped backwards while I was rolling. Yeah. I can't remember if you were here when I did it or not, but at one point I did have a bomb hover that I added by accident. It is funny, there's like just so many of like classic Zelda bugs that I accidentally recreated when I have been working on this. Alright, let's see if we can figure out why the... Okay, my new camera rig, much simpler. So we have, like the main camera rig, which does the rotation. We have a height offset, which just moves everything up, and then the rotation offset is like the tilt, and then the spring arm keeps the camera a certain distance from the player, but can collide with the ground, and then that's where the camera gets attached. So I think the bombs might be on layer 1. Let's see. Okay. These are on layer... Yeah, it's layer 1 for the object itself, and then layer 4 so it can interact, so it can be on the interactable layer. So I mean, I could just say it doesn't have collision at all for now. So it'll let us clip it into the ground. But yeah, I've been like tweaking the rolling so it works more like it does in Zelda, where it just kind of like moves you in the direction that you're already moving. But I'm running into some funky stuff where you can still like input while you're rolling. So I guess I can let's see. Let's go back to here. I guess rather than can turn, I could just call this like ignore input. False. Not ignore input, and then roll. Ignore input is false. Ignore input is true. Yeah. I'm on a roll. And then actually, instead of doing that, we can just say if ignore input direction equals vector 2.0. Yeah, there we go. So now I can't change the direction of my roll mid-roll. I still have an issue where I can roll and it not have it play the roll animation if I'm like mashing the button, but it's like kind of inconsistent. Not sure why it's doing that, but that's like kind of minor. Getting the shield working was fun. I do need to make some changes to it, I think, because there's some hacky code that makes it work, but I'm getting the dot product, using dot product to like, if the player is facing the damage source while they're shielding, then ignore the damage. And that works pretty well. But there are cases where I think I want damage just to be able to hurt the player if they are shielding, like if it's a electrical damage source and they're using a metal shield or something like that. But yeah, if I'm facing away from it and shield, it still hurts me. Or if I'm facing like to the side of it. So I'm pretty sure in Wind Waker, when you attack with the sword, it does move you forward a little bit. But you can't turn while you're swinging. If I go into my sword attacks, so they're both using the same script, but yeah, I think I can say player character controller. Do you have a reference to that anywhere? Don't. Signed it. All right. If I, let's see. And then here we can say controller velocity is equal to controller basis times So now we'll move forward as we're attacking. That's too much, and it shouldn't be like during the entire attack. That's weird. So if I'm already moving and I attack, I stop moving. But if I'm not moving, then I move. That's strange. Interesting. Not doing what I wanted to. I should add a bonk state. I have one, I just haven't added it. So if I roll into something, I should bonk and stop the roll. Be right back. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, during the let's see. So I can add a array cast. And this will be the bonk check array cast. This one to be facing forward, maybe a little bit up. And definitely not that long. We want it like that. let's. Hi, Rozzy. How's it going? I've been working on. I accidentally opened Audacity. I have been working on a bunch of stuff, but one of them is making it so the character can roll. And so it works a lot more like how it does in Wind Waker, where you can't like turn while you're rolling and just moves you forward in the direction that you're facing. I still have some bugs where sometimes you roll and it doesn't play the animation, but that's fine. And I'm about to add like a bonk where if you're rolling and you bump into something, then it plays a different animation. So I'm adding I think I'm gonna do a sphere cast actually. Shape cast 3D. And we'll do a sphere. And it's gonna be 0.5. 0.25. I can give it a custom color. We'll make it pink. And we'll move it up. Bonk. Check. And then, let's see. I'll move it up a little bit so it's not colliding with the ground. Maybe bump the radius down a little bit. And then in our roll state, where'd it go? Grab it. We're gonna have a reference to the bonk check. And then in our update physics here, we'll say if bonk check dot is colliding, print bonk. So we bonked into this. So we could, now that we have a bonk check, we can also check to see if what we're bonking into is breakable, and if it is, then break it. So we have that, let's see, outdoor world, got our pot. Pot has health. So let's find an animation to use as our bonk. Let me look at my frog game and see what animation I used for that one. So I could probably just reuse the same one. I don't want to upgrade my PC to Windows 11 right now. Silly Windows. Yeah, seriously. Probably don't actually need to open this. I can probably just look in the Unity project. I think this is the one I want. It's knockback. Let's see. Yeah, knockback here. Let's look at the transition. Yeah, that's the one. It's got my old frog. It's like a really old version of this frog. Let's see. Humanoid. Sure. And then save to external file, animation. I'm gonna call it bonk. Yeah. I think the animation he's supposed to be holding a gun. It's a Mixamo animation. There we go. So I can add our bonk to the animation player. And add that to the animation tree. Where's roll? There's roll. So I can add bonk here, and then transition from roll to bonk. Condition of bonk. And then bonk will go back to idle when it's done. So here we can just say let's say animation tree set bool and then here we'll set it to false. And this is just because I don't want to make a whole state in the state machine yet for the bonk state. Okay, why isn't it like that? That looks so bad. He just dies. can't bonk with the sign because it has no collision. We can bonk the chest. I don't know why his arms go up like that. It looks really weird. Alright, we should definitely let's see. Player character. Okay, no, we should actually like do this properly. Where we have a bonk state. Create a script, inherits from state, call it bonk. All right, function, state, let's see. All right, in our animation thing, we're gonna add a trigger for bonk. And then let's see. Wait, get tree dot create timer 1.2 dot timeout. And then access unique name. Say change state roll bonk. What? What happened there? What is happening? Oh, we're never transitioning back to idle. I see. Or we're going back to roll. We should be going back to idle. Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, now let's look at that transition. Heads up, we are about to have ads in a minute. Alright, so what if we set this crossfade to 0.5? It looks bad, but it doesn't look as bad. And obviously, like, we could play a sound effect and shake the camera. It would look slightly less bad. Just downloading a couple animations real quick. And it absolutely put them in the wrong folder. That's an annoying little quirk of Godot, is like if you don't have a folder highlighted, but you drag stuff onto that folder, it puts it in whatever folder you do have highlighted. So stuff can end up in a completely random place. Alright, let me get these set up real quick. I wanted this to be humanoid. There we go. And then animation taxi. Okay, I already have a sort of taxi. Okay, I'll save it as D. And then this one, save as sword jump slash. Alright. Do I actually have animations or sword attack C hooked up anywhere? No. Well, let's see. If I turn that off, go to animation player. Alright, what do we have for sword attack C? Looks the same as A. Or same as B? B, C. Yeah, B and C are the same. So actually, we're gonna override C. Delete sword attack D. And we'll add our jump attack. Did I just, yeah, I just did that. Okay. why is attack C not showing up there? Alright, we do also want to make sure that during attack B we can trigger attack C. So I'm gonna break this again. So if we look at attack B, basically from 0.5 to 0.8. Maybe 0.45 to 0.8. I'm gonna close and reopen the project because I'm not sure why it's not showing all my triggers that I've set up. There we go. And then how long is attack C? It's 1.8. I'll put it at 1.7. I think I need to increase the, let's put this at like 0.25. Oh yeah, I need to actually wait, sword attack rest, change state, sword attack B. Dang. This is easy enough. I can just say export var next combo state. And then say next combo state, and then the next combo state for A is B. The next combo state for B is C. Cool. Okay, I didn't add any keyframes in that third attack for enabling the damage trigger. I guess B doesn't have it either. Wait, I have to insert keyframe. So I'm also gonna add a jump attack, but I haven't set any of that up yet. And I think this is a good place as any to wrap up today. Yeah, it's almost been going for about 2.5 hours, so I figure that's a good time to end. Thanks for hanging out while I stream. I'll be back on Thursday again with more of this. Hopefully I'll add a jump attack and maybe start working on the targeting system. And we'll go ahead and raid Juno. Looks like he's drawing a bug. He got a new tablet, so let's go say hi to Juno. Alright. Have a good rest of your week. Thanks for hanging. See ya.